Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Lights come alive, engines start to roar. Round two's here, now it's cut to the core. 10 drivers left, but it won't stay that way. Only a few get a shot at the pay. Pressure's high, no room for mistakes. Every lap now is a gamble they take. Points on a knife edge, won't slip and you're done. This is the fight to the final run. It's the round of 10. Let the battle begin. Every corner, every lap it's all in. Lights come alive, engines start to roar. Round two's here, now it's cut to the core. 10 drivers left, but it won't stay that way. Only a few get a shot at the pay. Pressure's high, no room for mistakes. Every lap now is a gamble they take. Points on a knife edge, won't slip and you're done. This is the fight to the final run. It's the round of 10. It's the round of 10. Let the battle begin. Let the battle begin. Every corner, every lap it's all in. Every lap it's all in. No second chances when the green flag drops. You're either moving on or watching it stop. From teammates to rivals when it's all on the line. Only 5 gonna make it when they cross that line. Yeah, it's do or die in the playoff den. Welcome to the round of 10. Wolfpack's loaded, 5 strong in the fight. Baker and Ritter bringing heat tonight. Raposa's steady, Lawson's got speed. Lowell's right there with a hunger to lead. But teammates turn cold when the stakes get real. No favors given when you're chasing that deal. 5 in the hunt, but they all can't win. Brotherhood fades when you're cutting it thin. Oh, it's the round of 10. It's the round of 10. Let the battle begin. Let the battle begin. Every corner, every lap it's all in. Every lap it's all in. No second chances when the green flag drops. You're either moving on or watching it stop. From teammates to rivals when it's all on the line. Only 5 gonna make it when they cross that line. Yeah, it's do or die in the playoff den. Welcome to the round of 10. I've been grinding, keeps it cool under fire. Pogo's wild, riding that edge of the wire. Hoonigan boys ain't afraid to throw down. They'll risk it all just to stay championship bound. Kalan Tony's coming, got nobody to lean. Zingin's lurking, quiet but mean. Hudson's hungry with a point to prove. 3 lone wolves with everything to lose. No teammates calling, no backup plan. Just tenacity, grit, and the wheel in their hands. When the pressure hits, that's when legends are made. 3 stand alone, but they ain't afraid. It's the round of 10. Hear the engine scream. Every driver chasing a championship dream. No safety net when the green turns to checkered. One bad night and your whole run severed. From the pack to the lone wolves fighting within. 5 will rise, 5 fade to the wind. Yeah, it's all on the line. Let the show begin. Welcome to the round of 10. This is the 802 Winston Cup.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is the start of the round of 10. That's right. Last week we eliminated 5 drivers from playoff contention. Here tonight we'll see those 10 drivers with a blue number in the timing and scoring that will say, hey, they're still fighting to try and get into the round of 5. But we still got many more other drivers here chasing after checkered flags, as it looks like here a few cars here heading out on track. I mean, we're already deep into qualifying here in this one, so we'll go take a look here at the standings. And right now, Shannon Wood, he is leading the way with a 29.36. Christopher Muse there in P number 2. I believe Muse first ever start here in the 802 iRacing League. Scott Simley third, the best of the round of 10 drivers. Frank Zingen fourth, and Jim Ott here rounding out the top 5. So about a minute left in qualifying. We'll take a look, see if there's any sort of cars or anything out here on the speedway. And it looks like not going to be the case, as everyone else here kind of set for their times. We do have a little bit of update from the YouTube chat lands. Chris Proger here in the 7 machine giving an update saying he's going to try for a top 5 tonight and not qualify. So going to elect to start deep in the field. I mean, we have over 25 cars here tonight ready to do battle. And here we go. I think the only playoff driver yet to take a time here is the driver of this 6 machine. So here we go. We're taking a look here at Johnny Barker. Barker, though, I don't think is going to have enough time to get a qualifying time in, because we are just about to click over to the race. So looks like Barker going to start deep in the field here tonight. Like I said, same with the 7 machine of Chris Progar. So yeah, interesting, as here we go. We get ready to get set for 150 laps. But before we do, we, of course, got to give a big shout out here to Shannon Wood and walking away with that Riptide Radio Pole Award. So congrats, Shannon, with the quick time here tonight. The 02 machine will be leading the field down to the green flag. And speaking about the green flag, why don't we get ready to head down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup. So here we go, folks, to kick off the first of 3 races for the round of 10. Tonight's starting lineup for the Sin City, I think that's what we're calling it. Sorry, the High Roller 225. Sin City race was Friday night. It's the High Roller 225 here tonight. But nonetheless, here is tonight's starting lineup. Like we said before, Shannon Wood in this Sim 500 02 machine will be leading the field to the green flag. To his outside, driver making his first ever start, it is Chris Muse in the 45. Then we head back to row number 2, rolling off on the inside. In P number 3, that is the 33. A lot of 3s there. And that is Scott Simley. To his outside, the best qualifying playoff driver here tonight. It is the 62 of Frank Zingen. Then to round out the top 5 here will be the 4 car of Jim Ott. Just sneaking in to this next round. We'll see what he can do here for the round of 10. Grant Humphrey in the 48 machine. He will start in 6th, 7th, going to Anthony Calatoni in that 84 machine. Nick Larson in the 2 will start P number 8. Todd Parent in the 69 will roll off in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 will be the 43 machine. That is Mike Kelly. Rob Lowell will start 11th. 12th going to Jeff Pogo. Starting in 13th will be Joey Gattina. He's coming off a win on Friday night, looking to sweep the weekend here at Las Vegas. Connor Dudek will start in 14th. Arabia Caton will roll off in P number 15. 16th going to Steve Ritter. 17th is Jason Wiley. Joe Hudson will start in 18th. Brandon Guerin rolling off 19th, and rounding out the top 20 will be Eli Raposa in Tatro will start 21st. Tim Shiflett will start 22nd. Kenny Reel here will start in 23rd. Reel hoping to bring home the checkered flag here tonight. Same with the driver rolling off 24th. That is Nate Brooker. Then we head back to our final few rows here tonight. Johnny Barker, our deepest starting playoff driver, he will start 25th. 26th going to Chris Proger. 27th is Brandon Hinton. And Dylan Hinton will start in 28th. So it's a Hinton back row here tonight as we get ready to turn him on loose. 150 laps going to be the distance here tonight in this one as the iRacing pace car here heads down pit road. And Shannon Wood in control, can fire off any time in the restart zone. We'll do it late, and here we go, folks. We are green flag racing for the round of 10. The field, most of it 2x2, Wood by himself out in front, but everyone else 2x2 trying to slice and dice their way around this racetrack here. It's all about momentum, keeping the speed in the race cars as we see just that. 3 wide for the race lead into turn number 3. Jim Ott down low, Scott Simley in the middle. Shannon Wood shuffled way up the racetrack there, so by the end of lap 1, Wood back to about P number 5, but it will be Jim Ott here leading lap number 1. So Ott will get a very important bonus point for leading that lap there. Every point matters, especially in these rounds of racing here. As we take a look a little bit deeper in the field, some side-by-side racing action, as Jeff Pogo here looks to the inside of Todd Parent. So Parent up top in that Tide ride, the number 69 there. Jeff Pogo, of course, with that classic kind of matte black, matte gray machine, and Pogo looking pretty good, already up 4 spots from where he started here tonight. Everyone definitely pushing the envelope here to kick things on off, but so far so good. It is Jim Ott here leading the way over Scott Simley, Anthony Calatoni already up to P number 3, Frank Zingen in 4th, and Rob Lowell will round out the top 5. Right now, Rob, biggest mover of the race in these first 4 laps. He's already up 6 spots, so that tells me this 21 machine wants one thing right now, and that is as much track position as he can get. Sitting in a pretty good spot right now, though, in 5th, trying to get 4th away from Frank Zingen. Going to do just that there in 3 and 4. We look a little bit deeper in the pack here. Still some guys slicing and dicing and, trying to get a little racy here deeper in the field. But back here, definitely a little bit more calm there compared to that mid-pack battle right around the top 10 here tonight. As we take a look here at the 5 machine of Brandon Hinton, I tell you what, that is a car that stands out on the broadcast. Same with this 48 machine of Grant Humphrey. Those things always looking pretty good out there, and especially with that color combination, pretty sporty in this one as we head back up to some of these battles. 3 wide here once again. Chris Muse up on the top side, Jeff Pogo in the middle. Mike Kelly down low. Looks like Kelly's going to back on out of it just a little bit in that 43 machine as Pogo still trying to march his way up towards the front here early in this one. Though his teammate Jim Otto leading the way out in front. As these two still side by side for this 7th position. So it goes to show that passing definitely not easy out here tonight. As we see Muse get a piece of the wall there down the backstretch into turn number 3. That'll shoot that car up the racetrack just a little bit. It'll allow Jeff Pogo to get on by. And now Mike Kelly will try his hand at trying to get around the 3 out on track or the 45 in the timing and scoring. Driver making his way up towards the front as well. Steve Ritter, one of those drivers that does really, really well on the long run. And here tonight at Vegas, we could see this race easily going green and checkered. Though on Friday night, we had a total of, I want to say, 8 or 9 cautions. So definitely this place can provide a little bit of an X factor, especially when it comes to strategy, but I think everyone right now trying to make sure they hit their marks, keep their race cars underneath them, as man, Mike Kelly, Jeff Pogo, inches apart from each other there through 1 and 2. I tell you what, Mike Kelly has been trying to work over Jeff Pogo all race long here. These opening 9 laps, these two have been nose to tail, side by side, and I tell you what, putting on a great battle. And I don't know how many more laps Mike Kelly can take before he can maybe start getting a little bit flustered, a little bit frustrated, but man, Jeff Pogo's still trying to hold on and still keeping that 43 machine at bay here. So best battle on the speedway right now, we are looking at it with the 43 and the 97. We got to jump back maybe a little bit deeper in the field as well. I saw a shout out in the YouTube chat lands here, cheering on Grant Humphrey in this 48 machine. So we ride on board here with Grant going into turn number 1 here. And like I said before, man, this 48 machine definitely very sporty looking. I love the kind of color scheme pops on the broadcast. Right now, Grant biding his time, clicking off the laps here and out of harm's way for the time being, as we'll see what he can do, you know, longer in the run, you know, when tires start to wear, the handling starts to go away on these race cars. Another driver that started deep in this one here tonight, hoping for a top 5 when it's all said and done. I mean, quite a bit of work up in front of him, Chris Progar. He started 26, still in 26, but like I was just saying about Grant as well, if Chris can, you know, manage his pace, take care of his stuff, especially those tires on that race car, by the time they have to pit under the green flag conditions, if we get to that far, I'm sure that 7 and probably that 48 will be clicking off some pretty good lap times here. We're seeing some more cars here battling on out. I tell you what, Ariba Caton here in the 30 machine. New paint scheme on. I almost didn't recognize it out here. A nice bright red, has Ghost on the side of that thing. That thing looks really sporty. And I tell you what, Caton definitely an underdog story when it came to the playoffs. He was able to make the round of 15, and I tell you what, he drove his heart out. He was wheeling each and every race, especially last week at Chicagoland. The 30 machine had some really, really good pace. Just couldn't quite get the deal done when it shook out all in the points, but still nothing to hold his head at, as Caton once again, yeah, another playoff appearance completed by that 30 machine here with the 802 iRacing League. Head back up towards the front here. We see Shannon Wood getting passed by a few cars. Mike Kelly able to get on around Jeff Pogo and Shannon Wood. Jeff Pogo, of course, just getting by the 02 machine. So our pole sitter, the 02, kind of falling back just a little bit here tonight. Oh, his heads up here. One car way out of sorts. That was Johnny Barker. Barker, some reason, a little bit sideways there through 1 and 2. And that will actually collect Eli Raposa. You can see the damage to Raposa's number 46 machine. Quite a bit of damage right there on the left side headlight. And then the 46 getting a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. So tough break for the 46. Another one of those drivers in the round of 15. Made it to the round of 10. And this is not how he wanted to start the round of 10. Right now at the bottom of these 10 playoff drivers here. So he's hoping to hopefully bring this night on around. But a tough break right there for the 46 machine of Raposa. Head back up towards and taking a look here at this one car. Brandon Guerin continue to work his way up through the field here. Guerin now into the top 15 for the first time here tonight. Right behind them, Connor Dudek, Joe Hudson, Steve Ritter. So right with these 4 cars we're looking at out on the screen, you know, 2 playoff drivers right there, and both playoff cars on the bottom side of this racetrack. Kenny Real also sitting right behind them as well. So keep an eye out on this kind of black, blue, and silver number 11 machine, as Kenny Real also marching his way up through the field. He's inside the top 20 for the first time here tonight. We saw a shout out here in the YouTube chat lands to our 5th place driver here currently, the 62 machine of Frank Zingen. Last time by Zingen was able to throw down a 30.49, one of the best laps here on the racetrack, though Jim Ott last time by a 30.44. So Zingen right there with that leader pace, and you know, a 2.25 seconds back, definitely enough gap to kind of reel someone on in if they blow off their tires out here tonight. We got a battle for second. He not up here as Rob Lowe looking to the outside of Scott Simley. So this 21 machine, like I said, from the drop of the green flag, has been trying to march his way as quickly as he can to the front of this race, trying to maybe get some points. Would love any point he could get. You know, bonus points out here in each and every race. A bonus point for leading a lap. Also, 3 bonus points for the most laps led. So if a playoff driver can do that, they can give up, you know, 4 spots compared to another one and still be all right. I think that's what's going through the minds here of the 4 and the 21, as we're probably shaping up for a battle for the race lead within the next 2 laps or so. So Jim Ott down on the low side there through 3 and 4. Rob Lowe up to the top side. Lowe getting that momentum rocking and rolling, and you can see him closing up right to the back bumper of Jim Ott. Let's ride on board here with Jim Ott, looking at back to this 21 machine here. So riding on board with our race leader here, looking on back to the rest of the field. We take a look here at the lap times, and you can see 25 laps into this race, lap times over a second of fall off. So that's what we said, you know, with the old taking care of your stuff, especially these tires. This track really, really abrasive, really, really fast. As we see Rob Lowe get a little bit of a Darlington stripe here at Las Vegas. He will bounce it off the wall there through 1 and 2. So that tells me one thing, Jim Ott definitely keeping an eye on the mirror, trying to predict where the 21 will enter, try and give him as much dirty air as he can, as last time Ott entered up on the top side with that 21 machine. Let's see if that is the case once again into 1. No, Ott to the top side, Rob Lowe down low. So side by side for the race lead for a split second here, but Jim Ott once again going to use some of that Chevy horsepower against that Ford there. Keep the momentum rocking and rolling. Also, top 3 cars, all different manufacturers. We have a Chevy leading the way over a Ford. Scott Simley in the best running Toyota into 3rd, but Simley starting to get under fire here from Anthony Calatoni. Calatoni looked like the easy favorite to kind of quote-unquote win the round of 15. Had a tough race at Chicagoland, so this 84 machine looking for some redemption. That starts here tonight at Vegas, and right now doing a good job at that, as Calatoni inside the top 5, looking to get up on the podium here at the start of this one. Look a little bit deeper in the field here. That is Dylan Hinton getting around Aruba Caton. That was a pass for the 26th position. Up looking ahead a little bit further, you can see Jason Wiley, Chris Proner trying to start to battle just a little bit here. Further up front, Shannon Wood, Christopher Muse right here as well. So as we always see, quite a bit of battles going on out here on the speedway, but We seen it. I mean, we just saw it there with Rob Lowe, Jim Ott. It is one thing, you know, to try and get a run, get to someone. It's a whole nother thing to try and pass. As Frank Zingen either very close to the wall there off of turn number 4, or may have just gotten a piece of it, because that 62 machine lost a little bit of momentum up in front of them. Anthony Calatoni getting around Scott Simley. So the top 3 now all playoff drivers here currently. Jeff Pogo now looking to the inside of Frank Zingen. This is battle for a top 5 running spot. Zingen up top, Pogo down low. Both of these cars in the playoffs. So the top 6, we have 5 cars in the playoffs in the top 6. So that goes to show who might be some of the favorites here to look for with tonight and the upcoming next 2 races. Yeah, I tell you what, Christopher Muse, like you mentioned, and Grant Humphrey both making their series debut, let's say, and actually I think overall league debut with the 802 iRacing League. Muse right now inside the top 10. He currently runs at P number 9 here. And then Grant Humphrey has cracked into the top 25 here in that 48 machine. So both of them looking for, you know, a good way to start their kind of career here in the 802. Would love a solid finish. I mean, with the names here in this race, a top 10, I think most every driver would take that, especially on debut. Heading back up towards the front of this one, Jeff Pogo now setting his sights on the 33 machine of Scott Simley. Simley down low, Pogo up top. Here's the run that you can get just by running the top side versus the bottom. Pogo's going to get to half a car length in front, now going to clear Simley. So I think Scott Simley knowing that, hey, I'm racing around a lot of playoff guys, don't need to do anything crazy, don't need to give them too much of a hard time. I mean, Simley's not going to go, you know, pull on over and just let someone by, but he's going to, you know, not do some side drafting or, you know, put people in a bad spot if he can help it, because right now Scott Simley, the best running non-playoff driver here. Right in front of them here, we get a battle for the runner-up spot. It's going to be a 3-car battle here in a moment, as Rob Lowe is going to have a mirror full of the 84 and the 97. A few weeks ago at Dover, we saw the 84 and the 97 get together a little bit. I mean, nothing malicious there, just, you know, just mistiming things. So you got to wonder, does that stay in the back of either of these drivers' mind? You know, Calatoni from the bump, or Jeff Pogo that, you know, had the race ended from that. We'll find out here, but overall, these guys could be some of the favorites, like I said, going into this round. And these guys not going to want to give up any position that they can, especially to a fellow playoff driver. Looks like a little bit of trouble here early in this one. Kenny Reel on pit road. So this is definitely an unscheduled stop here by the 11 machine. Not sure what's going on. No sort of update, but Kenny Reel looks like might be out of this race here right around on lap 35 here. Joey Gattina here down on pit road as well. So the 14 machine down here on pit road early. So we got to wonder, does the green flag pit stop start this early in this one? Joey Gattina trying the short pit option as a 14 machine, like I said, looking to sweep the weekend here. Back here out on track, Anthony Calatoni able to get around Rob Lowell through 3 and 4 there. So the 84 machine up into second. Now going to try and run down our race leader, Jim Ott. Ott, of course, coming off the win last week at Chicagoland. Ott trying to go 2 in a row. Right now, it's in a really good spot to do just that here. So things kind of calming on down just a little bit, though we might have a battle of the two cars out here tonight. Shannon Wood, Nick Larson gonna go side by side here. This is a battle for the 9th spot, but maybe more importantly to them, it's the battle of the two cars. Who will be the best finishing 2 or 0-2? Right now, they are going to go side by side into turn number 1. Nick Larson in the 2 down low. Shannon Wood in the 0-2 up on the top side here. They almost made contact there off of turn number 2, but no harm, no foul. Nick Larson, though, is going to have to try and reset up the 0-2 machine. And like we've seen many times here tonight, it's one thing, you know, to run down another car out here. It's a whole nother debacle to try and get on around them. Oh, it's Rob Lowell here once again into that wall there in 1 and 2. So the 21 machine has to be careful. Can't lay on that wall too much, because even in these corners, these guys are going 165, 170 miles an hour. So a wall hit at those speeds definitely could break something on anyone's race car here. Some drivers that, you know, started deep in this one, not taking a qualifying time. Johnny Barker up to 16th. Nate Brooker here up to 15th. So those two being our biggest movers of the night. Brooker here in the Hunt Brothers Pizza 00 machine, and Johnny Barker in that classic Wolfpack Racing number 6. Those two still trying to march their way up towards the rest of the field. They just have quite a bit of a gap to the next car in front of them, about a second or so. We take a look here at the 48 machine of Grant Humphrey. Humphrey trying to get around the 5 car of Brandon Hinn. So this 48, like I said earlier in this race, we saw him kind of towards the back, taking it easy. Well, now that other competitors' tires may be in a worse spot than the 48, we see Grant Humphrey here driving around cars, making moves, and continue to try to get back up through this field here. We saw Brandon Hinton right there on screen. Now we take a look here at the other Hinton, Dylan Hinton, trying to get around Jason Wiley, as well as Aiden Tatro. Tatro right in front of them. Haven't talked too much about this 24 machine, as he will get back rolling, and it looks like another car here with an early pit stop. That is Tim Shiflett here in the 54 or the 8 on the car. He is back out here with fresh tires, so with Joey Gattinas. Oh man, Eli Raposa right there, that 46 machine. Big time hit to the outside wall there off of turn number 4. It was just at the top of the screen there, but Eli Raposa, remember, got some damage from Johnny Barker. Not sure what started the incident, but Raposa definitely has an ill-handling race car out here in this one. And this 46 car, hoping to see a caution, though these first 45 laps been under green. This time bringing it to pit road here. Here comes Eli Raposa, the first of our playoff drivers. So that will make about only 3 cars in total have visited pit road here early in this one. Everyone else continuing to race out here on the speedway. Taking a look at our top 5 here. Jim Ott leading the way over Anthony Calatoni. Jeff Pogo in 3rd. How about this? Christopher Muse. He is making his way back up through the field. Took care of his stuff. Another driver doing that. Fell on back just a little bit. Muse back inside of the top 5. He sits in 4th. Rob Lowell in 5th. We saw him racing the top line many of laps. You gotta wonder, is the right front on the 21 starting to wear away, as it looks like Rob Lowell starting to lose the pace just a little bit to the cars around him. Frank Zingen currently sits in the 6th position. Scott Simley in 7th. Mike Kelly in 8th. Nick Larson and Shannon Wood continue to battle for that 10th position here. And these two got to be careful, because they are starting to get run down by Brandon Guerin, Todd Parent, Joe Hudson, as well as Connor Dudek, all starting to catch these kind of front runners and these cars that are inside the top 5 here. Excuse me, top 10, let's make it. Two teammates side by side here, out here on the racetrack. Mike Kelly and Shannon Wood, the 33 and the 43 here side by side. Kelly down low, Simley up top. As here we go, we see Rob Lowell. We're talking about, wondering about those tires. It seemed like that was an ill-handling race car the last couple laps. He brings it down pit road, same with his teammate Johnny Barker. So both the 21 and the 6, both down here on pit road. I like that call. Instead of continue to bleed time, might as well come on in and say, hey, you know, we got the data point for the next run. We can do X, Y, Z, lift a little bit earlier, run the bottom a little bit longer, and try and, you know, change things on up to help the next run. This time by, we see Mike Kelly, Joe Hudson down on pit road. So another lap, another 2 cars down on pit road here. We take a look here, though, at this great battle. I want to say, you know, we're looking at 6 cars all under a blanket right here on the speedway, just on the bottom side of the top 10 here. Right on board here with Todd Perrin on the back side of this pack, and you can see just how crazy it gets. All these cars, some cars wrapping the bottom, few cars shooting it in the middle, and Todd Perrin, you saw there late in that corner, that car kind of drift up to the wall at the very last second. That is that aero tight we can experience, especially with these cars and the speeds that we're at here tonight. And that right there, folks, is a quick lap around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Right on board. It's actually not the Tide ride, it's the Todd ride. Todd Perrin right on board with him. And you saw Scott Simley not get a great exit on the high side off of turn 2. That backed up the whole entire top lane there. And that allowed, you know, Brandon Garrett, Connor Dudek, Nick Larson all to get on by. Though we haven't seen any takers, not until now inside the top 5, but the first driver in the top 5 to pit, Anthony Calatoni, he is down and away from his pit box. So 2 teammates out in front by quite a bit of time here, though we are in the middle of green flag pit stop. So while everyone's kind of running on around at different spots of the racetrack, let's take a look here at the track map on the right side of your screen here. As here we go, leaders coming down pit road. Jeff Pogo coming down here on lap 54. So that will hand over the race lead here to Frank Zingen. Zingen will get credited for a lap led here with that one. So the 62 going to have a bonus point, and that 1 point could make all the difference when it comes to the elimination here in about 2 weeks. So we see Frank Zingen right there, going to go another lap. It looks like 1 car missing pit road. Oh, I thought he did. He might have got that car rotated enough. That was the 00 of Nate Brooker. We'll have to see if he has an extended pit stop with a penalty, or if the 00 cut that thing perfect. We'll find out here in a little bit of time. But yeah, like I said, Frank Zingen now out in front. Grant Humphrey continues to make his way towards the front here in this 48 machine, as now we see Frank Zingen give up the race lead. He will head down to pit road. It looks like he will get that thing woed on up. No harm, no foul to the 63. 62 that is. As now we take a look at the 1 car, Brandon Guerin. He is our race leader, but maybe not for long. because here comes Grant Humphrey. Humphrey looking for his first ever laps led here in the 802 iRacing League. He will roll by the one car there down on the bottom side off of turn number 4. New race leader Grant Humphrey has taken over the point here. The 81 car there right behind them in that Chili's kind of scheme. He is a lap down. That is Dylan Hinton. So Hinton trying to get one of those laps back here from Humphrey. And that kind of leads just 2 cars yet to pit because Todd Parent came in last time by. So the only cars yet to pit, the 48 and the 1 as well. Looks like both cars will stay out for yet another lap here. So it seems like most everyone so far in this race trying to split this race up into thirds in this one, pitting about lap 50, lap 100, and that will be able to get them to the end of this one, where we see a few drivers stretching that fuel tank as far as they can go. Here this time we see the 48 down low, keeping that car low. Grant Humphrey here heading to pit road. That'll hand the race lead back over to Brandon Guerin, who continues to stay out here on the racing surface. So from pit road, no one with any sort of penalties or anything like that. So everyone so far able to get safely on and off of pit road with no real big incidents, no one speeding, no one having unsafe pit entry or exit. Here's our final car to pit during the green flag pit stop run. Brandon Guerin will bring that one car here back down to pit road. And it looks like when it all cycles on out, Anthony Calatoni should be our race leader here in this one. Take a look here, quite a few cars in a pretty good battle here. Steve Ritter, Brandon Hinton, Nate Brooker all under a blanket right here, as Brooker, one of the best tires out here on the speedway in this 00, as he should be able to get around that 5 car pretty easy. Yes, he does. Up towards this front here, not sure what happened to him, but Jeff Pogo a little bit off of the pace there. Not sure if he got some help or maybe just got loose, got tight, but he lost a little bit of momentum there that lap. That allowed Joe Hudson to get on by. And it looks like Jeff Pogo not going to lose the spot to Rob Lowell. So the 97 back up to, race pace and trying to, set the head back down and get back to work here. So with us starting to get close to the old halfway point here tonight in this one, I'm going to go take a break from yapping. Going to go actually refill my water, get some more water, and then be on back. But while that happens, we'll do some of the fan favorites out here. A little Turn 3, Turn It Up here tonight from Las Vegas. As we get on back here, folks, it looks like we are under our first caution of the evening, so we'll go on back, see what happened to bring out this first caution, and wall up the field for the first time here tonight. So it looks like it may have involved the 24 machine of Aiden Tatro. So we'll take a look here, see what happened to Aiden off of turn number 4 here. It looks like, oh man, that car just got out of control in a hurry. The 24 trying to save it, and that thing wagged all over the racetrack and then up against the fence, and luckily he was on top of, that tow button, because man, the field was barreling down there on that 24 machine. So wow, so that will put an interesting spin on things. Luckily for most of these drivers, the first round of pit stops done and concluded with, so no real shakeup in the standings. But here we go, some strategy calls being made. Anthony Calatoni down on pit road, but Jim Ott, Mike Kelly, Jeff Pogo, Rob Lowell all gonna stay on out. Joe Hudson down, as well as Chris Muse. Joe Hudson, like I said before, down. Steve Ritter gonna stay on out. So kind of a split strategy out here under this pit stop. So let's take a look here at the end of pit road and see who wins the race off of pit road here. Looks like Shannon Wood away first, but I believe Wood, he only took a little bit of fuel, not taking the tires. Anthony Calatoni, the first driver off of pit road, taking 4 fresh tires here. Then it is Christopher Muse, Joe Hudson, Connor Dudek, and it looks like maybe Johnny Barker gonna have a little bit longer pit stop, maybe try and get some of that damage repaired here. Oh man, but maybe trouble for Anthony Calatoni. May have gotten busted speeding on pit road, as it looks like Calatoni having to let quite a few cars by. We'll see if that's the case. Maybe not. He gets that thing refired and back rolling, so yeah, looks like Calatoni going back to his spot here in the 84, so looks like he is all set in this one. I believe it was a 7 machine of Chris Progar going to be the lucky dog here in this one. And I think in total about 22 or so cars on the lead lap still. So we get ready for the first restart of the night just before the halfway point here in this one. Jim Ott going to lead us back to green. Mike Kelly on his outside. Jeff Pogo in third. Rob Lowe in fourth. And Nick Larson here rounding out the top 5. So everyone a little bit deeper in the field here, trying to make sure they are in spots out here on the racetrack and get the lineup all set, because like I said, lights are out on the pace car around Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so we are going back to green flag racing right here. Racing pace car here heads down pit road in the first restart of the night. Jim Ott going to lead the way into the restart zone. Can fire off any time inside of there, goes right in the middle, and we head back to green flag racing here at Las Vegas. Top 3 gonna single file on out by the time they get into turn number 1. First car up on the top side, that is the GStone 21 machine of Rob Lowell. And you can already hear tonight, folks, these cars quickly getting up to speed as, oh, big time trouble in 3 and 4. The big one strikes, but everyone keeps it rolling, and that means we stay under the green flag conditions. Wow. Big losers out of that one. Steve Ritter Chris Muse, Joey Gattina maybe a little bit as well. So, oh man, that looked like that was a big one right there. Somehow everyone kept it rolling in the right direction. Holy smokes. We'll try and catch what happened there going into turn number 3, as here we go. This will show us pretty well. Keep an eye on the 61 and the 62 up on that top side there, as a 61 machine of Steve Ritter maybe gets a little bit of shot from Frank Zingen. Then a left rear quarter panel tap by the one of Brandon Guerin. That sends the 61 sliding up in the way of Joe Hudson, another playoff driver. Going to have a little bit of damage, but you can see Connor Dudek sideways, Christopher Muse sideways against the fence. And wow, I don't know how everyone righted those race cars and somehow kept the caution from flying. So it looks like Dudek in that 50 machine going to call it a night here tonight down on pit road. Looks like might be done for the event. We'll have to see, because he's on pit road. We'll see, definitely longer than a normal pit stop in the box here. As all, we get a caution flag on the Speedway 1 car sliding into the inside wall. That is the 5 machine of Brandon Hinton. So Hinton will bring that 5 car to a stop right there in the middle of the backstretch. And we'll see what happens, see if he had any help or anything like that. But we'll see right here as Rob Lowe right on the back bumper of Brandon Hinton. And yeah, off of turn number 2, the 21 machine into the back of the 5. That will cause the 5 car to go for a long slide, and yeah, right into those tire barriers on that inside lane. So we can see a lot of nose damage on the left front of the 5 machine. We'll see if he can get that thing kind of repaired and keep it at a halfway decent pace. But that's a lot to ask for, because especially here at these 1.5 mile, 2 mile racetracks, you know, damage can really much kill your pace and kind of, you know, put you on your own island pretty quickly. Once again, a little bit of some fake outs there to come down pit road, but we do have some takers down on pit road. But this time by here, right here at the start finish line, we see cross flags here tonight, halfway down, halfway home, and race number 1 of 3 for the round of 10. So cars that decided to pit here under the second caution: Mike Kelly, Rob Lowe, Joey Gattina, Steve Ritter, Joe Hudson, Christopher Muse, Dylan Brooker, Dylan Hinton, and Brandon Hinton, all down here on pit road in this one. Under this second caution as well, we have the 13 machine of Jason Wiley. Wiley is currently our lucky dog candidate and currently is our lucky dog. So that'll put us, I think, back to 22 or so cars here on the lead lap once again here tonight. So with us under our second caution flag of the evening, won't be missing any sort of racing action or anything like that. What do we say we throw it over to a little quick commercial break here and get a word from our partners over at Premier Setup Shops.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get
Alrighty, folks, here we go. We get ready to go back to green flag racing for the first time in the second half of this one. Two Hoona Gang racing drivers on the front row. Jim Ott going to be in control in the 4-car. Jeff Pogo in the 97 to his outside. The iRacing pace car there makes the late move onto pit road as here we go into the restart zone. They will go and fire on off, go up through the gears here once again, and we head back to green flag racing as Jeff Pogo will get clear of Nick Larson. Top three once again, single file going into turns 1 and 2, but here comes Grant Humphrey in the 48 machine. Humphrey and Larson, man, almost make contact down the back straightaway. Larson having to use every inch of racetrack right there, and I think may have scraped a few decals off the right rear quarter panel. But Grant Humphrey up into the podium spot here currently, but they better be watching that mirror because here comes Anthony Calatoni on some fresh tires. Calatoni into the top 5 here. Right behind them, a little bit of 3-wide racing action as well. Mike Kelly trying to make his way up through the field. Then we have Todd Parent in there, Shannon Wood. Man, I tell you what, everyone trying to get as much track position as they can get because we saw many times during that first full run as, oh, Steve Ritter gets turned into the outside wall. The 61 machine of Steve Ritter, man, having a tough night here, and that night's getting only tougher as Ritter looks like gonna park it down here. Oh, big time hit to that inside wall, and Ritter gonna call it a night at that one. That will bring out our third caution of the evening. And yeah, we'll take a look here at the incident once again, but not sure if Ritter maybe knew they were 3 wide or what happened, but definitely running out of space here going into turn number 1. I think he knew Muse was there. Don't know if he knew Nate Brooker was there because the 61 moved on up just a little bit there and then got hooked. Big hit to that outside wall. Probably broke something in that right front, and Steve Ritter gonna have a lot of work to do here in the round of 10 because I think when it's all said and done, 61 machine's gonna finish the worst of the playoff drivers, right around all the way in 25th position. As my phone falls to the ground there, we under our third caution flag. Let's see if maybe this is the time that Ott and Pogo come on down. No, it is not, so they will stay out on the racing surface. So, like I said, Calatoni pitted under that first caution on lap 67, whereas these guys, Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, last pitted on 54, so about 13 lap newer tires for Anthony Calatoni. I tell you what, this is a big wave around here, especially when we take a look at the playoffs. Eli Raposa going to be the lucky dog candidate this time, so that'll put the 46 here back on the lead lap, and that puts every playoff driver that's currently still in the race back on the lead lap here tonight. Hearing a little bit of radio chatter here from the 7 team. Chris Proger asking about the rear of the race car, seeing if the back of the 7 has any sort of damage. You see him kind of weaving that car, double checking things and that sort of stuff. And right now, I would say, Chris, at least from the broadcast booth right here, that 7 machine looking still pretty good. So I would say, you know, keep on racing as hard as you're racing, but that also brings up a really good dilemma too. It's like, if your driver does have some damage, do you tell the driver? Because you know that's going to affect how they think of the race, the decisions they make, all that good stuff. So even with some damage, I don't know if you want to know or not. That's always a tough question I ask myself. So we get the field re-racked, restacked, and getting ready to get back. Hopefully do some green flag racing, as we've had 3 cautions pretty much all right in a row here. Didn't have one for, I want to say, the first 65 laps. In these last 20 now, we've had 3 of them. So we'll see if the old Darrell Waltrip saying cautions breed cautions will continue to be true, or if we might get a little bit of racing under our belt here in this one. But once again, like we saw under the last restart, once again it's Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, the 2 teammates on the front row here of this 3rd restart. So here we go once again. The field doubled on up, and once again Jim Ott going to be in control. He will go in the restart zone, fire off right away in the restart zone, and we head back to green flag racing. Jeff Pogo going to try and get clear into turn number 1. It's going to be close, but he's going to be able to slam the door shut on Grant Humphrey there. So Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, single file out in front. Anthony Calatoni now trying to get away P number 3 from the 48 machine. Throughout the field, though, quite a few cars side by side. And right now, a lot of differences in tires, whether some drivers on old tires, a lot of drivers, though, taking tires under these cautions here in this one. We take a look here at Johnny Barker, pretty much the only driver in the playoffs that did not take a qualifying time. Barker has driven his way, though, back up through the field, and Johnny Barker trying to get 5th away from his teammate Nick Larson. Those 2 side by side in 3 and 4. Barker down low, Larson up top. Right in front of them, Grant Humphrey in that 48 machine sets up. Calatoni now trying to get P number 2 from Jeff Pogo. So that battle for second, Calatoni down low, Pogo up top. We'll see how this works on out. We've seen both these guys, and especially cars, get to the inside of Jeff Pogo, then really struggle to make the pass. Calatoni, though, going to clear the 97 there off of turn number 4. So Calatoni trying to get to the race point here at some point here tonight. Right now, running in P number 2 and running down our race leader. 3 wide racing action here off of turn number 2. That just worked down out as Rob Lowe just finds a gap between Joey Gattina, right on the back bumper of Joey Gattina. But Gattina here with some fresher tires making his way up through the field. That 14 machine trying to sweep the weekend as old man 3 wide once again. Mike Kelly going to back on out of it in that 43 machine. Yeah, Nick Larson on those older tires, kind of struggling with the handling just a little bit in the 2, especially struggling, though, in this dirty air. Battle for the race lead up in front here. Those 2 running inches apart there through 1 and 2. Anthony Calatoni to the inside of Jim Ott. Ott's going to try everything in his power to keep Calatoni at bay, prevent him from getting that bonus point of a lap led. And here at the start of lap 90, it will be Jim Ott for the time being. Now here comes Johnny Barker as well. Barker currently the biggest mover of the race, up 22 positions. And Barker trying to get clear of Jeff Pogo as well. Still up front, side by side for this race lead. Anthony Calatoni down low, Jim Ott defending up top. Calatoni going to get a half a car length out in front of Jim Ott, though. Ott will have the momentum. Calatoni going to cut that car low, prevent the 4 car from side drafting, trying to pull him on back. This could be the chance that Anthony Calatoni needs to get the race lead. Yes, it is. Anthony Calatoni to the point here with about 60 laps left in this one. Johnny Barker now just getting clear of Jeff Pogo, so move Johnny Barker up into a podium spot. Rob Lowell once again going to grab a little bit of the wall there off of turn number 4. Though the 21 not scared of that yellow paint up top. He will put it back to that top side in 1 and 2. Try and get a run there on that 14 machine. As this time Rob Lowell will shoot it down to the bottom side, put the lefts there on the paint. Joey Gattina going to run in the middle of the racetrack. Rob Lowell can't quite complete the pass there, but looks like the 14 machine will cut him a break. Just get out of the gas just a little bit. That puts the 21 back into P number 6. So now here comes Mike Kelly as well, trying to slice and dice his way through this field. Kelly took some tires, I believe. Maybe not, actually. I think Kelly might have only taken fuel under those pit stops, just trying to get that thing as long as he can go here. As we see Mike Kelly get around the 14 machine right there in turns 1 and 2. So give P number 7 to the 43 machine of Mike Kelly. Jeff Pogo once again under fire from yet another competitor. This is now from our best running non-playoff driver. That is the 48 machine of Grant Humphrey. Humphrey down low. Had to kind of use a little bit of extra wheel, kill that momentum just a little bit. That now leaves the door open to the 21 of Rob Lowell. Lowell will go up to the high side once again here through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he will try and make a move right away on Jeff Pogo. Not going to have quite enough of a run to get to the inside or the outside of the 97, but within these next few laps, definitely going to have a battle on our hands for 4th once again. Eli Raposa got that damage mostly fixed there on that 46 machine. He is saying that car's driving a lot better here tonight, and it's looking like just that as Raposa inside of the top 15 once again here tonight. So what an up and down night so far here, and he still has time to make his way up through the field here in this one. So man, what a rebound it would be from that 46. Was looking at one point the lowest running playoff driver, now already has 2 cars below him. If he can finish every race with 5 playoff drivers below you, you're probably into that round of 5 as, oh no, big time trouble for Mike Kelly. Kelly with a lot of right front damage there on the 43 machine. It looks like he will quickly dive down to pit road. So not sure what happened to Mike Kelly. We'll take a look here at the replay, see what happened down this back straightaway. But Mike Kelly right now on the bottom side. Grant Humphrey up on the top side here. And then they're off of turn number 2. Nothing wrong there. So it must be maybe the next lap that maybe something happens here to that 43 machine. As maybe we'll just let it play here. Like I said, nothing too crazy, let's say, out there on the racing surface for the time being. But we'll take a look, see what happened to the 43 machine of Mike Kelly. Should be off of turn number 2 here this time by, as Kelly up towards the top, running that middle in that 43. Oh, and it looks like Grant Humphrey gets maybe a little bit loose, saves that race car. Mike Kelly having no time to react, gets shot hard into the outside wall, and that will be the end of the night for the 43. And here with 50 to go, these two staying right on track with their strategy, even with those cautions thrown on in. Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo down on pit road here. So now we have two teammates battling it out for the runner-up spot here currently. Rob Lowell able to get around Johnny Barker, so that'll put Lowell up to P number 2, Barker into third, and Grant Humphrey right there still in the mix. As this 48 machine definitely looking very, very sporty here tonight. How about this? Where did this guy come from? Brandon Guerin. He finds himself currently in the top 5. Nick Larson, yet another driver into the wall there off of turn number 2, though he will keep that car rolling. Here we go, another taker down to pit road. The 62 machine of Frank Zingen will now bring it on down, so that makes, 3 of the 10 playoff drivers already visiting pit road here in this one. Todd Parent trying to hold off Eli Raposa. That is a battle for the 8th position, so the old Todd ride trying to hang on to that spot for the time being. Going to do just that, at least for this lap here. Jim Ott and Jeff Pogo both off of pit road. No harm, no foul for either of them. Them both safely off of pit road. Both of them sit 1 lap down, so even if a caution were to come out, wouldn't be the end of the night for those two, as they would maybe try and, of course, race their way to the lucky dog spot. That would be the best case scenario, but even not, they can get the wave around from the pace car if everyone else pits, and then they can, of course, then get their lap back that way. Though the one bummer for that is they lose all of their track position that they had before pitting there. Christopher Muse continues to try and rebound there after being involved in that big one that did not draw a caution. The 3 machine or the 45 in the time and scoring back inside of the top 10. Currently running MP number 9 as he just got around Eli Raposa there. Right behind them, Shannon Wood, Dylan Hinton, side by side and battling for position. This is a battle for the 12th position out here, so Dylan Hinton up top, Shannon Wood down here on the bottom side of the racetrack. And it looks like Dylan Hinton gonna hang on to that spot for the time being, as here we go, a battle for third. Once again, kicking on off Grant Humphrey. Once again, trying to get back on that podium. Man, what a night it would be for Grant for his first ever start here in this league. To chat with me at the end of the race, he just has to finish up on the podium to do exactly that here. Another driver that seems like he's had a lot of speed involved. I believe in that last yellow, Nate Brooker out here in this Hunt Brothers Pizza 00. He's had a lot of speed, and I tell you what, he has gotten faster. It seems like each and every week, he went from, hanging around the top 15, then, squeaking into the top 10, and then from, I mean, even tonight, it seems like this 00 for sure has middle of the pack, top 10 speed here. He just needs a little bit of that lady luck to go his way, but I've been pretty impressed here with Nate Brooker here of recent. Scott Simley here trying to get around Eli Raposa. Simley down low in that 33 machine. Going to be able to complete the pass there in turns 1 and 2. So this is kind of the best battle on the speedway. Everything else kind of calming on down for the time being. So man, oh man, how's it going to shake on out? We got just around 40 laps left in this one, and I believe most everyone but those cars that sit about 1 lap down have to at some point visit pit road. I tell you what, Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, they might have, a pretty good strategy last time by. A little bit faster than the leader. Nothing drastic, but, 2 to 3 tenths. And, you add that up just alone over 10 laps. 3 tenths quickly turns into 3 seconds in those 10 laps. Joey Gattina maybe didn't get the best corner exit right there off of turn number 4. That allows now Scott Simley to take a peek to the inside of that 14 machine. Simley going to be able to complete the pass there off of turn number 2. So Scott Simley into P number 9. Joey Gattina trying to hang on to a top 10 run here currently, but here comes Eli Raposa once again trying to get back into this top 10 at that. Johnny Barker has been able to hold off Grant Humphrey, but here once again Grant Humphrey is trying to track down the 6. Let's ride on board with Grant Humphrey here and see what he is trying to do to run down this 6 machine here tonight. You can see Johnny Barker there in the rearview mirror for a split second. Grant just not quite clear of the 6 machine, so we'll see if he can slam the door here off of turn number 4. Yes, he can. Give P number 3 to Grant Humphrey. A few more cars here heading to pit road. Joey Gattina now heading to pit road here in this 14 machine. We hear the call there from another spotter over the radio chatter. Sounds like the 0-2 is Shannon Wood here coming down to pit road this time by, and luckily for him, having no cars right behind him makes that pit road entry nice and easier. I should say as easy as it could get, let's say, as he will bring it down pit road here. And let's take a look one more time here at the track map, trying to understand where cars are running at currently out here on the speedway. Right now our race leader Anthony Caltoni just coming off of turn number 4 here. So we see some more takers on pit road, quite a few. Nick Larson sideways in it. Larson just missing the commitment cone. Man, if Nick Larson doesn't get a penalty from that, that could have been the move of the season for this 2 team, because I tell you what, a pit road penalty late in this race, any sort of thing like that, you know, will kill their race and kill a great points night. So Anthony Caltoni going to stay out yet another lap. Brandon Guerin going to stand out. Grant Humphrey down on pit road. Same with Chris Muse as well. So pit road activity definitely picking on up from here on out. As if I'm Anthony Caltoni, I'm thinking I got to pit here pretty soon, but it looks like that's not the case. 84 might try and run it out as long as he can. Hope for a caution at some point here tonight. Grant Humphrey here rolling off of pit road, so the 48 down and away. Another car coming to pit road. That is a 7 machine of Chris Progar. Once again, like I said, I think Caltoni's definitely going that strategy. Gonna ride it on out, run that tank to as close to empty as he can, and try and be there at the end of this one. You know, the likes of drivers that came in, you know, on 81, 82, Todd Parent, Scott Simley. Are these guys saving fuel? Let's ride on board with them. See if we hear them using the clutch pedal or shutting off these race cars here. As yeah, you hear right there, folks, RPMs drop on off. Scott Simley, he is saving fuel. He's going to try and stretch it to, you know, 70 laps. Let's see if he can do it here, but Simley tried it a few weeks ago. He had enough fuel to make it to the end, didn't quite have the pace, so we know that Scott Simley can save a lot of fuel. Can he get the job done here tonight and walk away with that first win here on Sunday nights? As yeah, you hear once again there, lifting off pushing in that clutch pedal, dropping those RPMs, and that's how you save the most amount of fuel here on iRacing, is take out as much RPM as you can from the car, whether lifting, down the straightaway, keep the RPMs from building up there, or completely shutting off the RPMs by pushing in the clutch, shutting off the car that sort of way. When the green flag cycle kind of cycles on through, Jim Ott, currently the best running car. Then it is Jeff Pogo right behind. Frank Zingen sits about, a second back from both of them. And Zingen, does have a tire advantage, about 2 laps or so. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see if that makes a big difference. But right there, Todd Parent able to get around Brandon Guerin. So Parent up to P number 2 here midway through these green flag pit stops. You can see top 7 has yet to pit here tonight. As we now start to get very, very close here to the countdown clock here in this one. That one sits about 4 laps away, or let's make it, 3.5 here in this one. As Johnny Barker there able to get around Jason Wiley. Same with Grant Humphrey. Wiley has yet to visit pit road as well, so the 13 machine trying to stretch out that fuel tank as much as he can into this long run and late into this race. So now the field very, very much spread on out here tonight, as everyone trying their own strategy, whether trying to make it to the end of this race, trying to push as hard as they can to get the track position. And it's going to be wild to see how this shakes on out, as here we go. Our race leader right before 25 to go, Anthony Calatoni, brings it down pit road. Now we'll keep that camera on Calatoni because I'm really interested to see, does he do a short pit stop here? Does he only fill it up about halfway on fuel, only take right sides, try and keep this pit stop as short as possible? We'll find out here as Calatoni into the box. Right side's going up on the 84 machine. Does he get rolling? No, it does not. It looks like left side's going up as well. Now here comes Todd Parent. He is down to pit road as well. So that will hand over the race lead to Brandon Guerin for the time being. But Guerin once again having some company for this race lead as Scott Simley to the back bumper of the 1 car. I think with Simley saving the fuel, I think we might see this 33 machine, stay behind the 1, stay in this draft and say, you know what, to run this pace, we don't even have to push as hard if we have another car breaking that air in front of me. So these guys had to be careful because Jim Ott, he is making his way up through this field, has the top 3 right in front of him. So if Ott can get around, the 00, the 33, and the 1, he will be back on the lead lap. So even if a caution does come out, he can pit with these leaders and be right there with some really good track position. So Ott trying to do just that, try and get around these leaders here. We now head into the countdown clock here in this one. Now under 23 laps to go. As man, I take my words back. I thought Scott Simley was going to, hang out behind the 1, try and save. That is not the case. Scott Simley to the outside of Brandon Guerin. Off of turn number 4, new race leader here tonight. Scott Simley will take over the point with 22 laps to go. A little bit deeper in the field here, battle for position. Grant Humphrey and Johnny Barker, both of those cars have reeled in Jeff Pogo. So all those cars battling for position out here tonight. And here comes Anthony Calatoni on those brand new tires. The 84 quickly trying to drive his way back up to the front. Calatoni forcing the issue. No, he is running out of time in the hourglass, so he will put it to the bottom of 3 wide. He will be able to complete the pass both on Barker and Humphrey there. Now trying to make the move here on Jeff Pogo. Going to do just that through turns 1 and 2. We hear the call out here. Nate Brooker heading to pit road, so these guys right behind him have to be on their toes, give him the lane, and they do just that. So Nate Brooker here down on pit road. Same with the one car of Brandon Guerin. Did Guerin get that car woed on up in time, because he was hauling some mail there onto pit road. Eli Raposa also down on pit road as well here. So that only leaves pretty much one car yet to visit pit road, and that is our race leader here, Scott Simley, and actually Joe Hudson as well. Those two being the only 2 cars yet to visit pit road. Can Scott Simley steal one away, roll the dice, and win big here at Las Vegas on the fuel strategy call? Or will this be the old snake eye roll and just come up short? We got now going to be 18 laps to figure that on out here at the start finish line this time on by. Right there we ride on board with Jeff Pogo as Grant Humphrey able to get around the 97 machine. So Humphrey back into the top 5 here tonight, and what a debut it would be for Humphrey. If he can hang out here and bide his time, he will be walking away with a top 5 finish. That is definitely a great way to make your first impression here in this league. Battle what could be for this race win if Hudson or Simley can't make it on fuel. Anthony Calatoni to the back bumper of Jim Ott. Calatoni will drive it in there deep, get the nose to the inside of Ott. Those two will go door number to door number and drag race down the back straightaway. Ott will have the momentum just a little bit on that top side. How will this shake on out? Because if I can keep Calatoni down low, he can maybe use those cars as a pick, but tires going to be a big factor in that one, as Anthony Calatoni will get clear of Jim Ott right there. So Calatoni making those new tires work very, very nice on that 84 machine. Like I said, could be walking away with the race lead if the strategy doesn't work out for the 33 or the 23. And even if we get a late caution here in this one, that means one thing, Calatoni can pit with them. Same with now Jim Ott, as Ott has gotten back onto the lead lap. Three-car battle here shaping on up. That is between Jeff Pogo, Johnny Barker, and now Christopher Muse, another driver making his series debut here tonight. Muse is inside of the top 10, currently running in P number 8 here. As we see Kenny Reel there dive down to pit road, so Reel will bring the 11 machine down to pit road that time by. Shannon Wood with a very long pit stop, so not sure what happened to the 02, but down on pit road for a long time. We'll have to see how that works on out, but here we go. Johnny Barker getting some help there from Christopher Muse. Not quite enough to get a run there and get a nose to the inside of the 97, so Barker still trying to figure a way out from behind that 97. I tell you what, if there's one guy that seems pretty hard to pass here tonight, it has been that driver of the 97, Jeff Pogo. Has been making each and every driver that has caught him work for that pass in that position. So 12 to go, that time by at the stripe. Joe Hudson starting to lose some positions from those cars. Remember, Hudson with some right front damage on that 23 machine doesn't quite have the pace, trying to stretch that fuel out to the end of this one. So Hudson goes from the best running playoff driver a few laps ago, starting to quickly fall down the running order. Well, like I said before, folks, as long as you have about 5 or so playoff cars behind you, that's all you need to do each one of these races. Right now, Hudson has that because he has Larson behind him, Zingen behind him, Ritter behind him, as well as Raposa and Lowell. Rob Lowell, I think, busted on pit road, either unsafe pit entry or speeding on pit road. That'll put the 21 machine 2 laps down, all the way in 19th. And like I said, with Nick Larson, he was able to get lucky on that one, not get a penalty. You can see just how much of a detriment that penalty is, because Rob Lowell gonna have his work cut out for him for this round of 10. Here, a good 3-car battle here out here on the speedway. This is for 13th, 14th, and 15th. Brandon Guerin, Nate Brooker, both able to get around Chris Proger for the time being, but Proger hanging tough up on that second lane in that motion number 7, and he's trying to see what he can do. Like he kind of told us before the race, decided not to take a qualifying time, try and get up there in the top 5. Could maybe by the end of it get a top 10 when all things shake on out here tonight. Up towards the front here, Grant Humphrey continues to march his way towards the front, and once again we see Grant Humphrey up here in a podium spot. He took away P number 3 from Jim Ott, so Grant Humphrey looking very, very sporty here tonight on his series debut. So inside of 10 laps to go here in this one. Next time by, we will see now 7 laps to go here, as both Scott Simley and Joe Hudson have yet to visit pit road in this one. Can they find enough fuel in the tank? Can they find the magic strategy to stretch that fuel tank to the end of this one? We head back here to Brooker and Guerin continue to race their way up through the field. Next car on the chopping block, that being the 14 machine of Joey Gattina. And Gattina kind of having a rough night here tonight. Was able to pick up the win Friday night in his 14th start. The 14 machine found victory lane, so that's kind of a pretty cool stat there. But here tonight, probably not the finish that he was hoping for, all things considered. Christopher Muse was able to get around Johnny Barker for that 6th position, so I tell you what, Muse is looking very, very sporty. Another one of those drivers, series debut inside the top 10. Very impressive. That time by Scott Simley. Seems a single open palm from the flagman. It is 5 to go. Does Scott Simley have 5 laps of fuel left in the tank in the 33 machine? We'll have to find out here, because it's going to be on fumes. I wouldn't expect much, if anything, of a burnout from this 33 if he can stretch this fuel tank from here to the end. Oh, we hear the call late in this one. Joe Hudson not having enough fuel here to the end. The 23 machine, another playoff driver, not going to have the night he was hoping for in race number 1 of the round of 10. Joe Hudson down on pit road here. So we head back to our race leader. Does he have enough? Has to make it around 2 1/4 more laps, and Scott Simley could walk away with his first checkered flag, I think, I think of his career here in the 802 iRacing League. Let me double check why we keep an eye on Simley. As yes, it is Scott Simley looking for that first career win. Popsicle sticks up in the air of that time by at the start finish line. 2 laps to go for the 33 machine. I tell you what, Simley just needs to see this white flag. He could pretty much coast all the way through 3 and 4, and he would have enough of a gap to pick up the win here in this one. Scott Simley will see the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Right behind them, 2 teammates battling for position. Nick Larson and Johnny Barker side by side here. Up in front of them, Chris Muse and Jeff Pogo side by side as well, as Larson will get that spot away from Barker late in this race. But off of turn number 4, Scott Simley, where did he find the fuel? It doesn't matter where, because he is an 802 winner. Scott Simley rolls the dice and wins big here at Vegas. Scott Simley, wow, what a strategy call to pick up his first career win, and a non-playoff driver upsets the field and starts the round of 10 with a win. Here off of turn number 4, Anthony Calatoni will bring it home in second. Third going to Grant Humphrey. Fourth is Jim Ott. And rounding out the top 5 will be the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Wow, what a race, what a finish here tonight. But it has been Scott Simley with the right call here. That car is out of fuel. He will stop it at the start-finish line. It is not out of fuel. Scott Simley somehow has enough for a little bit of a burnout. But don't go anywhere, folks, because right after this, we will take a quick commercial break. After that, we will have our post-race show here at Las Vegas, talking with our top 3 finishers. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back here with our post-race show for the first race of the round of 10. As wow, Scott Simley had a lot of fuel for a big old burnout here on the front stretch of the racetrack. Looks like that car finally sputtering, finally out of fuel, but got some burnout out of it. That was impressive. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back for our post-race show after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we head back here to Las Vegas for our post-race show. So first, we'll be talking to our third place finisher, that being the driver of the 48 machine. It is Grant Humphrey. Grant, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how you feeling after 150 laps here at Las Vegas?
I'm definitely feeling hot, a little tired.
Yeah, I could believe so, because this track, man, always some full concentration, and man, you had your work cut out for you, because early on in this race, you were back below in the deep 20s, drove your way all the way up on the podium. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, I got into the race and qualified, and I was like, I don't know how quick everyone's going to be, so I just decided to drop all the way to the back and then work my way back up and just see how it went from there.
Yeah, and overall, man, it seems like you have some pretty good pace. I mean, first ever start here in the league to walk away with a podium. Did that meet your expectations or surpass your expectations?
It definitely surpassed my expectations. I did not think that was going to come out of it. I thought maybe I'd get a top 10, but once I fell all the way back to, I think, 27th or whatever, I was like, I don't know how this is going to go, but just started picking my way back through and tried to stay clean.
Yeah, and you did just that as well. As man, you made some good moves throughout the field here tonight. It seemed like this 48 car, especially, I mean, even in dirty air in the pack, it seemed like you could make moves wherever you wanted out here on the track. Are you a big fan of this car or this track, or did it just all click nicely for you here tonight?
We just ran this track in another league last weekend, and I just everything just seemed to click better tonight than it did last weekend. So I don't know. It just felt a lot better.
Yeah, and I tell you what, got a great finish with that here up here on the podium. And man, I gotta say, you have a sweet looking race car out here tonight. Those colors really pop, especially up here on the broadcast.
Thank you. My twin brother actually makes them. He does a really good job with them too.
Yeah, this paint scheme's definitely very, very awesome. And yeah, first start here tonight at Las Vegas. Grant, do we expect to maybe see the 48 machine a few more times this season, or maybe, even next season when that rolls on around as well?
Yeah, I feel like I'll be trying to run these races a little bit more often. I'd like to try Gateway next weekend, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have any tracks circled here on the close calendar? Sounds like Gateway for sure, definitely on there. What do you like about that place?
I've actually never run there before. I'm interested in the challenge and how to learn the track there, so but I've never run there in the Cup cars, or I don't know if any cars actually.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll give you a little bit of insight from racer to racer. Definitely be careful getting on the skinny pedal off of turn number 2. You can get that back end a little bit sideways without realizing it. And then especially, as you know, right, in these next gen cars, you get these things sideways. You get one chance to save it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So hopefully it'll go good next weekend if I decide to run.
Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, when it comes to kind of racing and that sort of stuff, how long have you been on the sim? What kind of cars or tracks do you enjoy to race with?
I've been sim racing, I think, on and off for the last 6 or 7 years, and then I just recently got a wheel and pedals and everything again, and uh, I pretty much just run next gen cars. That's my bread and butter right now. So just get good at one car and stick with it for now.
Yeah, I tell you what, that definitely showed here tonight up here on the podium, beating a lot of big names here when it's all said and done. And Grant, I always like to get a little insight too from a racer. You mentioned the wheels and pedals. I always love to hear what people are using. So what do you got these days? Wheels, pedals, what are you looking at? All that good stuff.
For the wheelbase, I've got a Azatec Invicta wheelbase, and then for the pedals, I've got the V&M lights. I love both of them. We've got two of the Azatec wheelbases in the household, so we really enjoy them.
Yeah, I tell you what, I haven't heard too much about that, so I would assume direct drive, all that good stuff as well with that wheel.
Oh yeah, it's 27 Newton meters. I run it at about 18, so we've been just super happy with them. I have nothing but good things to say about them.
Oh man, yeah, that does sound pretty awesome there, and that force, definitely more than you could ever need, let's say, for the force feedback. But I've heard those higher strengths, really good at providing detail, kind of on the minute side of things, right?
Yeah, for sure. I figure go overkill on it, and then if I want it later, I can always add it up.
Yeah, for sure, man. You definitely have the opportunity to do that. But once again, man, congrats on the podium finish. That is awesome to see, going 1-for-1 with top 5 finishes here with the league and starting things off with a bang and on the right foot. So, Grant, before we let you go, we're going to go hand over the mic to you one last time here tonight and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast, because I tell you what, you had some fans in the YouTube chat lands cheering you on as well.
Yeah, I want to thank Isabel's Impact, Muscle Up Poodles, the Bar Distillery, Hell Niagara Enterprises, my family, my brother, my girlfriend. Who else? I want to thank you all, and then Chris is my teammate in our other league, and he was talking with me the whole race, and we were giving each other some tips and stuff. So I just want to definitely thank you all for putting on the broadcast.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, your teammate, first start just outside of the top 5. You two showed a lot of good speed. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store here in the future as well.
Yeah, thank you. And also a big shout out to Rob. He's the one who introduced me to the league. So thank you.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Grant, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and congrats again on the P3 finish here from Las Vegas.
Thank you. You too.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Grant Humphrey in the 48 machine, bringing it home in P3. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, the driver of the 84. It is Anthony Calatoni. Anthony, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 150 laps?
We feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, I could believe so, because luckily for you, cutoff race done and over with, full reset, and here tonight, you're walking away with the best finish of the playoff drivers as well.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous there with all that strategy. I thought I was going to get kind of shuffled back and not make up the positions with the because of the air, but I tried to gamble with strategy, and it just came up one spot short.
Yeah, that it looked like, and I was really intrigued. I watched you do your pit stop even on pit road, because I'm like, man, is Anthony gonna take 4 tires, take 2 tires? You ultimately take 4 tires, and I think that was still the right call, because like you mentioned, man, I was impressed you were able to make your way through all the fellow competitors that pitted before you as well as you did.
Yeah, trying to get through was so hard, just trying to navigate the dirty air, but it most of them were running up top, so that was a good thing, and it just kind of all played out there. Wasn't expecting Scott there to save as much fuel as he did, but when I heard he was clutching, I was like, oh man, I go Scott's that's one of his surprises that he's good with, and I knew that, but I was hoping for the best,
Yeah, for sure, man. And, we started the round of 15. You finished in 6. A good start there. Here tonight, beating that here with a runner-up finish. So, I tell you what, looking pretty good for the round of 10. How are you feeling about that? Because, of course, next week we head to Gateway. And then the week after that, we, of course, got Homestead as well. How are you feeling about those 2 tracks?
Going to have to be solid. That's what it's going to have to be for me. Not strong tracks for me. Decent, I would say, but we're gonna have to put some laps in, I think. So I really don't know how it's gonna go right now.
Yeah, but luckily for you, you have, some points cushion to your competitors. I mean, it seemed like half them, having some sort of issue. So that definitely could bode well for you, if you're not the most confident in the tracks. But here tonight at Vegas, man, once again, you seem like you had one of the cars to beat. How was it feeling out there? It seemed like you could really move on around, especially wrap that bottom side. Like you said before, not too many people could do it as well as you could.
Yeah, at the beginning of the run, you wrap the bottom. It was wrapping it pretty good, and then once the tires wore out, they you had to move up a little bit to the middle there. But yeah, just had to play the tire game, the strategy, and do what I needed to do.
Yeah, and that you did just that. I mean, no way could, I don't think any of us expected Scott Sinley to make it on fuel here tonight. So you were definitely the best car besides that wild fuel strategy when all things are considered. And yeah, I mean, during those green flag pit stops, when you decide was the best time to come, and then we get those jumble of cautions, you decide to come down to pit road. Was that a good decision overall, you thought, or what'd you think about that as well for you?
Well, I took that second set of tires on when we only did like 10 or 14 laps or something. I took that second set, and I I I realized that it wasn't the best decision to do that. So I was just trying to ride it out. Luckily we had a couple cautions after that, and it kind of helped. So when we went back green, I was just thinking, I'm like, all right, I want to try, I want to stay green till this point, but I'll push it to this point because I had to leave myself some room to try and run everyone back down. So I think what I did was the right call, and we came home second, which is great.
Yep, that it is a great way to start the round of 10, because we know, the round of 15 was intense. Round of 10 is going to be that much more intense. So, Anthony, once again, congrats on the runner-up finish. Before we let you go, my man from Las Vegas, we, of course, got to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout-out on the broadcast here.
Absolutely. No, of course I couldn't do this without the Talking Giants and John Boy Media Group. Couldn't do it without their support. Rebuilding Warriors, the Elks organization, and you for doing the broadcast, and all the sponsors that sponsor the 802 Racing League. It's really, really, really cool. I appreciate everyone's support so that we come out and do a little hobby here.
Yeah, for sure, man. And we got to thank you again for being part of the show. And here tonight, this will now make it your 9th top 5 finish, on the season. So pretty cool stuff. So Anthony, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
All right, thank you, Brett. You have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher, Anthony Calatoni, in the 84 machine. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is the driver of the 33. It is Scott Sinley. Scott, do you got a copy?
Hey, I got you there, Brent.
Alrighty, man. Awesome stuff. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 150 laps? You're down here in Victory Lane at Las Vegas.
Yeah, kind of a bold strategy, but it paid off. Don't know for sure if I would have made it. I kind of complaining that I don't know if I would have. At first, I said I wouldn't do that if I was in the playoffs, but hindsight, I don't think when I did it, it was that bad of a strategy, because everybody that stayed out couldn't make it anyway, so they had to stop. So I just thought, when I first went in, I said, I'm going to top off, because if I save and I make it, good, because these guys will have to stop. But I didn't want to take tires, but I thought, well, it's going to be such a long time, because it was those 68 laps. So I said, I'm going to throw on tires. I talked to Mike and my teammate, and he said I'd probably put them on, and I was leaning towards it too, and so that just reinforced the decision. So took tires with that, 68 to go, and topped off there right before we went green, and pretty much had to save the whole run, but didn't really lose a lot, because the time you're off the throttle to get the car to roll the bottom or even roll the middle, that's probably what I was, giving up with clutching. So it worked out. it was fun to see something like that work out. It doesn't always usually. There's usually a caution or something that throws a wrench into your plan like that, but it worked out tonight.
Yeah, that it did, and you're down here in Victory Lane. There's another track. I think it was Chicagoland, but with the O'Reilly car, right? You tried to stretch out the fuel, but that track just didn't have the pace for you, right?
Yeah, like I said, just sometimes they don't, and a lot of times I don't put in enough practice to know if that's gonna make it. So a lot of times it's a roll of the dice during the race, and once you make your bed, you kind of gotta lay in it at that point. So.
Yeah, and I tell you what, here at Las Vegas, you know, the place to roll the dice. And Scott, it worked out well for you. 21 starts, and in your 21st start here tonight, you visit Victory Lane for the first time. And I tell you what, the monkey's off your back now, right? You're an 802 winner.
Yeah, right. I kind of shot myself in the foot last week at Chicago. I probably could have won that one too. Racing Jim there at the end, I decided to pit. I had a set left, and I hate leaving tires in the pit because I didn't know the people behind, maybe an 8th or 10th that took tires. I didn't, I thought I'll stay out here, and then these guys are in 8th are going to take tires, and they're going to come up and pass us for the win. So I went in, and of course Jim and most of the leaders stayed out, and that wasn't the right move. There wasn't enough speed in that short elapse to recover. I don't know what I finished, maybe 6th or something like that. But if I would have stayed out, I could have had a chance to win maybe 2 weeks in a row. But that was my bad. But still a lot of fun.
Yeah, that it was. And Scott, I don't know if you kind of realize, but on these Sunday nights, you're on a pretty good hot streak of top 5 finishes. We go back all the way, 2 weeks ago at Dover, last week at Chicagoland, and now here tonight. That makes it 3 weeks in a row. This 33 has been up on the podium, or I should say up in the top 5. And of course, once you get that consistency, a win may fall in your lap. Exactly what happened here for you.
Yeah, that it did. Yeah, it's felt good, pretty good lately. Try to stick it out here and see if I can finish the season out with these guys, even just to, contend for some wins if I can. But let those guys play too that are in the chase. So. Yeah, we'll see what we can do, and we'll just keep rolling on with the momentum.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can do just that. And I got to ask the big question, man. How much fuel did you have in the end of this race? Because I was impressed. You had enough even for some burnouts as well.
I was looking at that. It was really close, but I knew with the lead I had, I thought, well, I got enough here to save, so maybe I can at least do a burnout. So I kind of conserved a little more of that last 20 laps just so I had enough to do a burnout. I only had a little over half a gallon left in the tank when I crossed the start-finish line, so not much.
Yeah, definitely not. And, next week we head to Gateway. How are you feeling about that place to maybe make it 4 weeks in a row? This 33 machine will be up in the top 5.
Yeah, Gateway's a fun track. When I first started racing there, it wasn't very good, but just working with Mike, my teammate, he's taught me a lot there. So I've gotten better. We'll have to see what's in store, but hopefully we can pull out, at least in the top 5 and just keep pulling up those up front anyway.
Yep, best finisher of the non-playoff drivers out here chasing checkered flags, and checkered flag is snatched by you, Scott, here tonight. Congrats again on the win. And before we let you go, man, we're going to go have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you like to give a shout out to on the broadcast down here from Victory Lane.
Yeah, I got to thank 802 and DG Graphix and, Turn 3, you guys for broadcasting and all the admins. Joey also from Sim 500 for kind of bringing these leagues together and getting some groups and, groups together so we can get a lot of good racers and good turnouts so we can, have a lot of fun out here. So. And then I got to give a shout out to teammate Mike. I think he was on a similar strategy. He pitted with like 75 to go and took tires, and then the caution fell with 68, and then I think he had some contact with somebody that I don't know if he broke his suspension part or something, so he bailed out. But yeah, I got to shout out to Mike for helping out too during the season, and yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a good broadcast.
That it was. There was racing going on every sort of part of the racetrack, and what a strategy call here tonight to get the win. And Scott, once again, congrats on the win, and you, my man, take care, go celebrate this win, and I'm sure we will be talking to you again at some point in the future here.
All right, thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our race winner, Scott Simley, getting the job done and winning big with a big strategy call here tonight at Las Vegas. So what do we say we go on over and run through tonight's finishing results here for race number 1 of the round of 15. Sorry, the round of 10. Round of 15's already set in the book. So Scott Simley will win here tonight, picking up his first career win. Anthony Calatoni will finish second. Best of the playoff drivers. Grant Humphrey on debut will finish up there on the podium. He'll bring the 48 machine home in P number 3. Jim Ott in the 4 car will finish P number 4. Jeff Pogo in the 97 will round out the top 5. Chris Muse in the 45 will finish 6th. Nick Larson will finish in 7th. 8th going to Johnny Barker. Todd Parent in 9th. And Frank Zingen will round out tonight's top 10. Brandon Guerin will finish in 11th. 12th going to Nate Brooker. Joey Gattina will be in 13th. 14th going to Chris Progar. Dylan Hinton will bring it home 15th. Eli Raposa in 16th. 17th. Rob Lowell. Joe Hudson in 18th. So those are 3 playoff drivers that have their work cut out for them for the next 2 races. Jason Wiley will finish in 19th. 20th going to Tim Shiflett. Arila Kayan will bring it home in 21st. 22nd going to Kenny Reel. Shannon Wood in 23rd. Mike Kelly in 24th. Brandon Hinton in 25th. Steve Ritter will finish 26th. 27th going to Connor Dudek. And Aiden Tatro will round out the field here tonight. I'll double check, see if they got some points standings updated here at the end of this one. Yes, they do. Right now, it is Frank Zingen looking below the cut line. Eli Raposa, Rob Lowe, Joe Hudson, and Steve Ritter. So we'll have to keep an eye on all 5 of those cars next week at Gateway. So that'll do it here tonight from Las Vegas. We, of course, got to thank each and every one of you guys tuning on in here live or on the race replay. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning on into the race here tonight. Be sure to tune in next Sunday as we get ready for race number 2 of the round of 10 at Gateway. We also got to thank here all the racers to be a part of the show that all of us get to enjoy. The admin crew here at the 802 iRacing League, as well as the partners over here at 802 that makes it all happen, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Admin Box, and Stone Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So yeah, that'll do it for myself here tonight. Once again, I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week, as we have a lot of great sim racing throughout each and every night. And I tell you what, it is very, very exciting stuff and usually some really good quality of racing. So yeah, that would do it for myself. So everyone take care, stay safe, have a great weekend, have a great week, and we'll catch you Friday night for the Busch Series or Sunday night for race number 2 of the round of 10. Also, Turn 3 has partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find out more with the link in the description. I'll take you over to their website. Even if you don't buy anything, a click would go a long way. So, yeah, that will do it here tonight for Las Vegas. So, everyone, take care, and we'll catch you in 1 week's time. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.